I'm just trying to see where things take me. I'm trying to work my hardest and work my best and get more hours in, more events, interviewing different fighters from different gyms, and just see where it takes me. This is like a vehicle for me to get into the sport. Like, I love UFC, diehard UFC fan, and I was like, how do I get involved in the sport? And I figured this was the best way. I get to go to all these promotions, meet all these people, go to meet all these fighters, and I get to tell these fighters stories. I get to expose them more to a larger audience. I wouldn't be doing this if it was just for the money, if it was just for that, you know what I mean? It's something that I love to do. I want to be working on something bigger than myself all the time. I always want to be improving myself. I always want to be working towards something bigger. That's kind of like what motivates me, what gives me the big drive. When I started, I'm like, hey, can I please get an interview with you? I have this MMA media page on Instagram, and now people are coming up to me, MMA Kid, and sometimes if people win another promotion I'm not covering, they'll text me, hey, we had our interview in spirit. Or sometimes if they lose, they'll text me, hey man, we'll interview next time. Unfortunately couldn't make the interview tonight. It's like the interview is part of the culture.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Dad?
Listen, I think it's super duper important. What I'm so excited about is getting to profile people that are they're not behind the scenes, but the people that really do so much to promote our promotion, other promotions, and the athletes.
No, I agree with you. I really do. Why do you think it's really important, though?
Well, I think it's important because the people that we sit down with, like the MMA Kid. What's up, Nick?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Pleasure to be here.
I think they're kind of on a journey just like the athletes are, right? They're building their brand. They're not just looking to kind of cover the regional scene. I think you want to get to the UFC, don't
For
you?
sure, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
So there's not many 20-year-olds in the industry doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Why?
I started pretty young. I started when I was about 17. And why did I start is because this is like a vehicle for me to get into the sport. Like, I love UFC, diehard UFC fan. I knew the rankings up and down every weekend. I'm sitting down, I'm analyzing the fights. I'm really tuning in for them. And I was like, how do I get involved in the sport? And I figured this was the best way. I get to go to all these promotions, meet all these people, go to meet all these fighters. And then it's like another aspect. I get to tell these fighters stories. I get to expose them more to a larger audience.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. But what's your favorite UNF? What's your favorite regional promotion? UNF, right? No, just kidding.
No, you guys, and I tell people this too, you guys do it the best. It's the smoothest. Another thing I love about you guys is you guys got media on lockdown. Because you can have the best fights ever, but what does that mean if you're not promoting them, if you're not showing the world? The little media day that you guys do, asking them these funny questions, asking them serious questions, it really brings a larger audience to tune into the fight. Jeremy brings a lot of value when he's up top and he's recording and he's posting the fights, like the finishes, they go viral.
Yeah, especially in real time when the event's going on. Yeah, no. We try our best, right? Especially at the regional level where we will consider ourselves right now. It's most promoters. We just had another guest on and he was saying, hey, promoters, they just give you one graphic to promote your fight and go tell you to sell tickets. Yeah. We believe the fighters, at least from their promoters, should get promoted properly. Yes. Not just one graphic. They have great personalities. They have great stories. Now, what are we able to do? What are we going to do to kind of put it out there? So we've kind of created this little machine, I think, as far as promoting wise and content wise, where we kind of got to unlock.
Yeah, but I think it's really cool, man, because again, when we first met, I thought it was really cool. You're based down in San Diego. Yeah. You drive all the way up to LA to cover these fights. You drive all the way to Lancaster. I mean, it really shows, your commitment to your brand and, your commitment to the athletes and telling their stories.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But what really kind of inspires you, right? I know that you want to get to the big show. You want to be covering the UFC one day, but what really drives you?
I mean, it's the moments between when the fighters are saying, hey, I appreciate all you do for the sport. When the promoters and you guys, right, also give me the flowers, give me the appreciation. But I really like just telling the fighter's story. And, sometimes, not all the time, very, very rarely, you'll be doing an interview and the fighter's kind of just answering the questions and then that's it. But with the majority of fighters, especially at Up Next, it's like when you're interviewing them, you can kind of feel their energy. And it's like, it's something bigger, right? You're interviewing them, but you're really giving them a platform to tell their story, because after the fight, you're so excited. Like, it's like all this hard work for the past 2 or 3 months is being displayed for 15 minutes, for 9 minutes, right, of the fight.
Maybe, yeah.
Right. And all that hard work pays off of one day. And when it gets done, you are so excited.
Yeah. Ryan was talking about that too. Like these guys work for months for that one moment in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's why it's like my dad said, to start this podcast, it's great we highlight people like yourself too, because you guys are there capturing their emotions, their words after, you know, whatever it may be. But it is crazy. I mean, they deserve all the shine and the promoting, right? Because they do work so hard for 2-3 months for that one night.
Well, and I think too, what's important for the athletes and everybody to understand is like, you know, you're not getting compensated to come and do these interviews. You're really, you know, building your brand. You're investing everything into this.
Yeah. It's a big passion. You know, it's fueled by like true love. You know, I wouldn't be doing this if it was just for the money, if it was just for that. You know what I mean? It's something that I love to do.
Yeah. What else do you love to do? Give us a snapshot of who you are behind the scenes, bro. What really goes on?
I'm in school. I work.
What school do you go to?
I'm going to SDSU. So right now I'm in community. I actually got into UC Riverside. I stayed there for like a week, and I was like,
only a week.
I don't like this. You know, I don't want to spend all this money just for like that college experience. I'd rather be back home doing my interviews, training. Like, I felt like I was kind of like locked into the campus. You know, what is there really to do there? So I went back home. It was like the land of opportunity. You know, started going to all these events again. So I'm in community college right now, and I got into SDSU, and I'll be transferring there next school year.
Okay, are you going to be focusing on your studies or partying?
Come
on, bro. I am a little old and dated, but
wise man once told me
SDSU is known for
life is all about
parties.
balance, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Work hard, play hard, you know?
Yeah.
What are you going to major in?
Business administration and finance.
Nice.
Yes, finance.
Are you going to help Ryan with his finances?
Of course. I'm next UNF CFO.
Yeah, might have him as a CFO one day, huh?
Dude, yeah, it's an unpaid position, but come on over. We're, like you, we're kind of a startup too, right? We're just building our brand.
Yeah.
So I think interviewing people is a really tough thing to do, right? To ask the right questions and get engaging.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the tougher interviews that you've had or some of the challenges.
When I first, because it's not something you can learn. Like, I don't really, you have to experience this. Yeah. It's funny, like Kiana Montenegro, she's on this card, right?
She's such a cutie, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The fuck? She is a cutie, but the way...
The way I said, not like...
No, it didn't seem like that. It's just like...
No, we sat her down.
The animated, she's such a cutie, bro.
So you're going to let my son talk to me like this, bro? And bag on me?
Well, he's going to have the CFO job one day. He can't talk shit to me.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
But she was one of my first interviews. And so I remember interviewing her, and I was like, I was struggling. Like, I was saying the questions halfway through. I'm like pausing. Like, it was one of my first times. It's like a skill. But now I got it on lockdown. It just flows very smoothly. So I mean, it's kind of crazy.
How do you know? I mean, we talk about like the fighters being really emotional, really happy after their win, train for 3 months. But what makes a great interview, right? Like where you just had an interview with this person and you're like, damn, that was gold. What makes that?
After their performance, I mean, I feel like the performance makes a big deal. Like if they're the underdog, they just got the knockout. Everybody was rooting against them. Now they're showing who's on top. You know, that type of interview, just true passion. Like you can tell when someone's being like super passionate about their camp, about their fight. Like when I get the passion from the fighter, it's like, it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and this doesn't need to be UNF athletes. Honestly, this interview truly is not about UNF. It's really about you. So just so you know. So who are some of your favorite athletes on the scene that you've gotten to interview, that you like to come watch their fights?
Well, he's fighting on this card. Byron's the absolute beast.
Byron Valle.
Byron's awesome.
Do you know how to pronounce his last name properly?
I thought it was
Valle.
Yeah,
I used to call him Byron Valle, and people were like,
so people were roasting him on Instagram.
It's Valle.
Yeah, Valle.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite fights of all time, if not my favorite, was Byron versus Rod.
Yeah.
That was insane.
What a fight.
It was so technical. The striking was on point. The grappling was on point. The jiu-jitsu exchanges, if someone made a small mistake, you're getting submitted.
No, it was a really sick fight.
I posted like a week or two before. I tagged you. I'm like, Ryan is cooking with this one. This is going to be fight of the night. I posted that like a week or two before. And it was just insane. It was just inspirational. Rod is such a talented striker. He keeps his distance so well. He manages distance so well. Just an amazing fighter and like a showman. And Byron's just an absolute dog. Like never, ever count him out. Byron will come in there and just keep coming forward. And he's very technical as well. And when he won, like that was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. And that was one of my favorite fights I've ever seen.
Well, Byron, like, he wears his emotion on his sleeve in a sense. So, like, he carries with pride where he's been, who rolls with him, all that stuff. So when he does fight, and like, everything feels so real and kind of big in a sense.
Yeah.
With Byron fighting.
No, it really does. He's a special guy. I mean, I think we have a very solid roster of rising stars, right? That I believe have the opportunity to go to the UFC. I think Byron is one of those guys. But let's talk about that. On the UNF roster, who do you think has the potential to go to the UFC, right? So rising stars.
Yes.
You know, Pargev's going to make his pro debut in July.
Yeah.
I really think Pargev's one of those guys that can make it to the UFC. What do you think?
I think Parkev's like your number one seed. I think he's pound for pound.
I think I have to agree with him right now.
He is an animal. Like, actually.
But one thing we're forgetting is Desmond Alvarado, our former flyweight champion. You know, he vacated the title. Then, you know, Pargev got the title, but Desmond competed on the international scene, won gold on the international scene. He's making his pro debut May 31st.
Okay. Well, I'll watch that one for sure.
But I think Desmond has the opportunity also. I think Pargev, Byron.
It's someone who's, for rising stars. I mean, listen, let's see what Rod Malik does when he comes back too. But Rod has all the potential too, right?
Yeah.
Is Rod coming back? What's
Rod's going to be coming back. Not. He'll be back probably by the end of summer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
The thing about the UNF Rising Stars is like, why do you guys call it Rising Stars and not like amateurs? You know what I mean? Like, you guys have a lot of talent there. It's not, I feel like it's a level above like other amateurs, right?
It most definitely is, but he can answer why we call them rising stars instead of amateurs.
Well,
it was his idea.
Do you think that when you think about the word amateur,
right?
What do you think?
An amateur, he's someone who just got started, right?
Right. Do any of the guys that get in the UNF cage look like amateurs?
They're all high level.
Right. Yeah. And so I think symbolically calling them the rising stars really, you know, gives them a name that they deserve.
It's funny because there's one of our fighters who I think has a 500 record that's going pro now, where he was like 2-3 or something. But we were talking, and he was just like, listen, like, you know, I know most guys when they want to go pro, they have like winning records, but I feel like a UNF, I mean, these fights I'm doing as a rising star, they're pro level fights. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm fighting some really tough guys, and it really is kind of true.
Yeah, but I also feel like, yeah, and I feel it goes with the UNF mentality, right? I think our mentality is, you know, you got to make people feel special. If these guys are getting in that cage and risking it all, you got to treat them, you know, the way they deserve to be treated. That's very, very special.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, would you have the balls to get in the cage and do what they do?
No, one day are
you going to do it?
You will see me in the UNF cage.
How about you and Ryan fight each other? I'm matchmaking that right now. Well, Ryan, you look a little heavier than Nick, but
let's both fight other people. I don't want to fight Nick.
Okay.
I mean, if it comes down to it, you got to cut out the checkbooks for us or what? It depends on the
No, I can't pay you. You're amateurs. You're rising stars. I can't pay you.
Yeah, you're right.
No, Ryan's too kind. I can't fight you.
No, but you actually have the desire to do it?
Yeah, one day. I've had 2 Muay Thai. They're like smokers, but I've had 2 Muay Thai fights and 1 boxing match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you like more, boxing or Muay Thai?
I mean, I'm better at Muay Thai, but like, I don't know, boxing is just something I think it excites me a little bit more. Like right now. Overall, I would say Muay Thai excites me a little bit more, but the boxing is getting my itch a little bit more.
So I know you said you've always loved MMA, and that's kind of how you got into this, just off passion, but how'd you get introduced to MMA? Like, what's that like?
I was at my friend's house pretty young, and it was a rerun of Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. And what really enticed me was the storyline, this unbeatable champion getting dethroned. And so like that's what kind of pulls me in, is like the storyline. That's why I like to tell it so much. The storyline is really everything when it comes to a fight.
I think Ronda Rousey, like, number one, the GOAT of women's MMA, in my opinion. But it also, let me finish.
I disagree.
Let me finish.
She put it on the map, though, for sure.
No, she did. She's the GOAT. She's the first. I mean, she was so dominant, but she's also symbolic about how MMA has evolved. Right. Because Ronda was very one-dimensional. Yeah. Right? But she's very symbolic of how the sport has evolved, if you ask me. Yeah. You can no longer just be a grappler or a wrestler or a striker.
That's true.
You have to be, like, I think what you've talked about with Taco Padilla. Taco may not be the best at any one discipline, but he's fucking good everywhere.
Yeah. No, you have to have that in today's world of MMA. I mean, you could be a specialist, but you can't lack in these other areas. You know what I mean? You just can't be one-dimensional anymore because you'll get picked apart.
100%.
So what do you think about the evolution of MMA since you became a fan, since you watched Holly Holm versus Ronda?
Definitely, it's different. I mean, because back in the day, you used to have a jiu-jitsu gym or a Muay Thai gym, and then you would go to another gym to get your grappling or striking. And now we're kind of seeing a transition into where there's more strictly MMA gyms opening up. And so it incorporates all of them at all times, right?
Yeah, no, it for sure does. I think it's just, it's evolution, because I mean, you got guys in the UFC now that you think are strikers, and they come out and they fucking get 10 takedowns in their fight. You're like, whoa, what's going on there? Or, vice versa. I think everyone's kind of catching on that you got to get with the wave in the motion, and that's just what it is now. You either got to sink or swim. So everyone's kind of really good everywhere now. I mean, you even see with the rising stars, like we got rising stars there, like they look like they're freaking seasoned vets. You're like,
Absolutely,
what the hell? What is going on?
Yeah, you get a kid like Isaac Vasquez who's going to fight Fedia.
Yeah, that's actually a great example.
Thank you. I'm a really smart guy.
No, it's a really good example.
But you look at Isaac Vasquez, he's a 19-year-old kid.
I actually I got a video sent to me from his manager of him, knocking some people out cold in his sparring.
No.
He's like, we're gonna shock the world. I'm like, okay.
Listen, I think Isaac could be being underrated by some folks out there. I think he's a super talented kid. But I mean, you look at 19 years old to fight a guy like Fedia. I mean,
Fedia's a beast.
no, Fedia's a savage, bro.
It's another guy that get to the UFC.
Yeah. Give it, bro. You got to give a shout out to our matchmaker.
I know, Ryan, amazing, and George. Both of you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
No, George is a goat.
Yeah, George really is a goat. He's really good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I love the new breed of MMA. I think is
Well, I think that's what Nick represents too, though, in a way, right?
100%.
I mean, you're a young guy,
Yeah.
right?
MMA Kid.
MMA
right?
Kid. How did you come up with the name?
I mean, I was like the only kid, right? I was pretty young. I go to these events. I think I'm one of the youngest person there, if not the youngest. And so I was just like, what's something that sticks out? And it's MMA Kid. And it really does stick out. Like I've had people say like, oh, what is this for? It's for MMA Kid. They're like, oh, you're MMA Kid? Like the name goes.
no,
Well, who was the guy that you started interviewing and he took over for you? He like acted like he was you.
Oh, Seth.
Yeah.
Seth, Knife Face Coleman. Yeah, that was a good moment. That was a good moment.
That had to make you feel pretty good
Oh,
because
yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
very clear. He knew you, knew your brand, knew how
Yes.
you interviewed and all that.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. It's got to be pretty tough, right? Like reading these characters because, Sherelle does a lot of our after fight interviews for us. And she talks about how she's terrified prior to doing these interviews.
Yeah.
How did you sort of get over that?
With experience comes confidence. Before I would really stress out before events and
sure.
kind of
It's
think about
nerve-wracking.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like kind of think and like study on how to ask these questions. But now it's just flow.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, let's say I'm doing an interview and then the next fight's over. I have to interview the next person. I haven't even watched the fight. I can do a great interview with that person. Like it's come down to like a science, but it just flows very easy.
Yeah. So when you interview, I mean, do you try to make the interview specific to that fighter? Do you have like these set of questions you already know you're going to ask, or you kind of just go off the vibe and what?
It's really a mix of everything. Sometimes I'll have something in mind that I saw that they're doing this camp specifically. And sometimes it's just the general fight question. Sometimes it's something I saw in the fight. Or a lot of times actually, especially like recently, their coaches will like talk to me for like 5 or 10 minutes before I even interview the fighter. So I'll have like some background too with the coaches.
Yeah.
So you've got some street cred now, huh?
For sure.
Yeah.
So, wait, what was the first event you covered, and how did you get the job to say, or how did you get into doing it?
For up next, first event up next.
Oh no, I'm talking
No,
just your
first event
career.
ever.
Yeah, that's a funny story. The first event I covered was Epic Fighting in San Diego. And I was just like, how do I branch out? I'm doing a lot of these interviews online. I'm doing Cage Warrior guys interviews through Zoom. And I was like, I want to start going to an event. And so I remember I messaged Epic and they got back to me when I was in school, like third period. And they were like, yeah, you can come tomorrow. It was like on 1 day's notice. And I'm like, okay. So I was
MMA
like,
Kid stepping up short notice.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah, and I was like prepping. What am I gonna ask this person? What I'm gonna ask this person. My first interview there was Juliana the Killer Miller. She's in the UFC. She was in Tough that season, and I mean that's how I got in. I was literally in school prepping at lunch. I was like on the phone trying to figure things out.
Isn't it crazy how different promotions are so different?
Yes.
So we were talking about Epic because they're the ones that actually bring a tattoo artist and will tattoo people.
Yeah.
But I think every promotion has its own personality, right? Can you talk about the different personalities and different promotions a little bit?
I mean,
what you see?
Some of them are more chaos. Some of
Yeah.
them are more organized chaos. Some of them are very, very smooth run. Some of the promotions you'll come there and everybody's kind of like screaming. Some of the promotions lower energy. Energy is pretty different. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you're watching people fight in the cage. Everybody's excited. Everybody's happy for the most part. But I mean, sometimes people go crazy. Like I've been in front row watching fights, and this guy behind us is like, guys, by the way, I'm just gonna tell you, if this guy wins, I'm smashing 2 beer cans together and it's exploding. I didn't really believe him. Maybe he was going crazy. The guy gets a
MMA
knockout.
fans are a different breed, brother.
Right.
Yeah, they are.
The guy gets a knockout, takes 2 beer cans, smashes
He did
them,
it.
explodes everywhere. Like, I felt bad. There was this like lady sitting next to me. She's all wet. I was like, what is wrong with this guy? But people are crazy sometimes.
What else crazy have you seen? Okay, the crazy dude smashing the beer cans. Oh, this is going to be good, Ryan.
This
Look at
is going to be a good
This is going to be good.
This is my favorite moment of all time. Parkev proposing. After he just runs through a very, very tough guy, Todd, runs through him, dominates, gets on top of the cage, gives a little heart. And I was interviewing a fighter and I looked to my right and I see this huge bouquet of roses. And I was like, I wasn't too sure what that was for. And then I see Parkev propose. I was like almost tearing up cage side. I was literally tearing up. It was out. That was actually beautiful.
Yeah, that was really cool for me for him to do it in the UNF King.
Yeah, man, you got to give it to Parkev, right? Not only is he a special athlete, he's a special person. I think he really understands the game. Like he does a really good job branding himself, putting himself out there, social media, his interviews, and then just his performance in the cage. I think he's got what I call the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Parkev does have the secret sauce for sure.
Who else has the secret sauce, bro?
Dude, a young guy, Edgar. You know Edgar? That guy's crazy.
Dude, he's crazy. He wants to fight Ryan.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't want to derail his career just yet.
Yeah. I know.
know.
I was watching a live, like a UNF live, because you guys do those lives and you guys ask him questions. Edgar was just talking shit. Like, he's funny.
He's got mad game.
Yeah.
He is so quick-witted. He's got mad game.
No, he does. We got a couple guys like that. I mean, we just sat down with Diego Sanchez too. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Not a shit talker and all that, but he's just so funny and quick, and he's pretty witty too.
He's funny because he's colorblind, so we just like test him with stuff. And
He's not just funny because he's colorblind, man. It's fucked up.
Look at me, I'm discriminating against the colorblind
White people, you might get canceled, Dad.
Oh, cancel me, please. I need a vacation.
You need a vacation. Well, let's talk about. I mean, you're a huge MMA fan. There's a couple really cool UFC fights that just got announced. Just curious on your opinion on those. This was a fight I'm torn between DDP and Hamza. What do you think about that fight?
DDP. I'm gonna go with Hamzat. But like the thing with DDP is he just wins by like plot armor.
He's the worst best fighter of all time.
Literally, like I don't know how he wins, but I wouldn't be surprised. I watched him shoot on Chimaev in the first round, and then Chimaev is like, wait, what is he doing? And who knows? Something could happen.
Yeah. What about Ilya versus Charles?
I got Ilya. Like,
yeah, no, me too. I think Ilya knocks him out. What do you think about that one?
I don't know.
Charles has.
I can't pick that one.
Charles has been touched, right, by everybody. He's managed to get back up and execute his game plan, but I actually lost a lot of money on the Ilya versus Max fight.
How much did you lose?
I lost about $125. Well,
that's a bad bet.
Listen, you got to get some. You got to talk to Ryan about you know the bets you're making. Like his friends have made thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars off bets on Taco, especially.
Yeah. No, on Taco, everyone's made money. No one can come at me for that. Well, they all like my picks, and I have one bad card, and they all say I suck. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Who did you pick for Max versus Ilya?
I wanted Max to win, but I was like, numbers wise, like I thought Ilya would win, but I was rooting for Max.
Yeah, I mean, I really just thought Max was going to be the one to derail Ilya, because what Ilya does is he kind of likes to pressure you, and he needs to get you against the cage to execute that body to head combo. And I was just watching the whole Gaethje fight, and Max was doing such a good job at circling off. Like, he didn't really get up against the cage, and when he did, he blocked very well and he circled off.
That's because Justin's way slower than Ilya.
That's true.
Like,
right?
Ilya knows how to cut off, and he's probably hits harder than Justin too, which is the crazy part. I think he's gonna smoke Charles. I think the best person to beat Islam for sure.
Yeah.
Well, fucking JDM versus Bilal. JDM looked nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, we were watching that. Me and my cameraman.
I was in Miami at Kiki at the river. And I had the phone, and all my friends were watching it with me because the fight was.
This guy abandoned me and went to Miami without me, Nick. How do you feel about that? We're supposed to be partners in crime.
I went with my girlfriend. I haven't took her on a vacation in 8 months, 9 months.
That's fair enough. Then
I had to before I got put in the doghouse.
This is true.
But usually, I like being next to you and around you for the most part. Most part.
Not talking to you. I'm upset.
Talk to him.
Would you have taken me to Miami with you, bro?
Yeah, of course. But like, he needed some time, you know. Like I'm
like the best son ever.
Motherfucker, you're just taking it. You're just grabbing his back, covering him.
Well, I'm the best son ever. I try to get this guy to come to dinner, do this stuff. He's, nah, I'm okay.
Wait, can we talk about the father-son dynamic? Like, how did you guys get started with this?
Also, go ahead, take a shot at it, Ryan.
Take a shot at it. What do you mean? Take a shot at it.
The father and son dynamic. How do we get started?
Oh well,
we started with what? Fight Valley Pod, UNF.
No, UNF.
I think it's a pretty cool story, right? You want to tell it?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been like a very tight knit family, kind of do everything together. I was just got out of high school, started the clothing brand, was working at his other business. But I've always, just like yourself, had a huge passion for MMA.
Yeah.
So for me, it was pretty much one day, hey, I think we could start this and do this. And we've always bonded over MMA. Now, there's some other aspects of other, people that we partner with and things like that. But yeah, I kind of brought it to him, and he wanted to make sure we, do everything by the book and do everything right. But he was kind of all in for it. And
yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of like I felt if we were going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. I knew that he had an extreme passion for it, right? And I think passion goes a really long way in business. You can have a job or whatever, but if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to be good, right? And I think that's why, if you look it up next, we're the newest, promotion on the scene. But
And
I
already
think,
have gone so far.
right. Look, I don't want to be arrogant, but I think we're the premier promotion in California for sure. But it's because of the hard work of the team and his passion behind, making great matches. So we felt like, hey, we kind of know what the scene looks like. We want to do it, but we want to do it better than everyone else. And we decided that, if we, live by some core values, we could take over.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't want second place, nor does Ryan. We want to win. Right. And so I think we stuck by those core values. We built this thing. We did it the right way. We didn't focus on trying to make money. We focused on just doing it right.
Yeah.
And I think the results speak for themselves. I mean, look at us. We now have the MMA Kid covering our events.
Absolutely.
we made it, mama.
Yeah. So, and I think, from the outside looking in, people think, it's easy or we're doing it. It's such it's just such a struggle. We put so much time and resources, blood, sweat, and tears into this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think people know.
Yeah.
But running a promotion, as you've seen, you said some have their shit together, some don't. Running a promotion is tough.
Yeah, it probably makes you age faster.
Dude, look at the wrinkles in my
I feel like an old man half the time.
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
Yeah, but I also feel it kind of makes me younger in a way because I get to live vicariously through all these athletes, right? I think one of the big things for us is, this is why we want to have you on, because to help you build your platform and get your story out. No, it's actually sort of inspiring because you're on the same journey we're on, right? And being a part of these athletes' journey for success, I think it's great. We just had an episode where we sat down with Taco Padilla, our former champion, has made it to the UFC. Like, he's the one in the UFC, but I'm super inspired by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your guys are getting the call. Like, it's like your kids are growing up into
Bro,
a new era.
wait, though. I'm so excited. I mean, if you look at the pros, right? Gianni Vasquez should be getting the call.
He's really good.
Dude, he's so good. Anthony Romero, yes, I know he just lost, but I think he's going to be getting the call.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I mean, and then you've got, Albert Morales, Johnny Robles. I mean, you've got so many guys that should be getting that call very shortly.
The UFC's watching your main event next time. Like, those two guys, they're right up for a call.
You think so too, right?
Yes.
We truly believe so.
Yeah.
And it's like a big brother avenging the little brother type of storyline, right?
Oh, the storyline? Tell the storyline. I just love this.
He said it perfectly. But yeah, it's like, it really is big bro trying to avenge a little brother's loss in a sense.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they would say it like that, but that's how I'm kind of viewing it.
Yeah, but if you look at you're focusing on that, but if you look at it, you know what I mean? Albert, has just beat Chase. So Johnny Robles has something to prove too. It's
Maybe
not just the bully getting revenge.
Yeah.
I at least say the big brother, little brother on their side because they are so tight and so close. They do every workout together.
Look, do you see?
They go to Hawaii together to train. They do
well, that's what I think is really special. Like the Samurai Squad, Albert and the bully and Samurai, right? They're thick as thieves. They are tight.
Yeah, that's
where
what
do
I'm
you
saying.
see that?
No, you don't. Do you have like a favorite gym coach?
Well, be careful what you say, bro. You don't want to alienate anybody.
Oh, no, alienate. I'm just curious because you do get to see a lot of coaches, maybe their coaching styles.
I don't think I do. I think
Why'd you see? You said something now. I didn't want to give an answer.
political
I
answer.
scared him.
I think everybody has their own good ways.
Good
Everyone's
answer,
good
bro.
at everything. Everyone has pros and cons. Yeah.
Kumbaya.
And
Let's
we
all
can't judge them.
let's all just get along.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
All promotions are awesome.
Well, what are some short term goals for you? Right. Anything like on the horizon that you're really working for to get there ASAP?
I'm just trying to see where things take me. I'm trying to work my hardest and work my best and get more hours in, more events, in. Really keep going to these events, grinding, interviewing different fighters from different gyms, and just see where it takes me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed you've put a lot of effort into sort of improving your product too. I remember when we first started working with you, it'd take you a minute to get your content out and this and that. Now you're getting that content out pretty quickly.
And you're pretty strategic with how you post and stuff too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have to wait for the right moment to post the interviews, but
Yeah, it's smart though. That's how you got to be.
yeah.
So tell us a little about you growing up, your family. Give us that personal insight on you.
My family, my mom and my dad are from Uzbekistan.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, they're Bukharian. And then
They're what?
Bukharian Jews.
Okay.
Bukhari, right? And they moved to New York when they were about my age. Didn't speak any English, had to work 2 jobs to just support their families. And then my mom and my dad met, they got married, and my dad's family moved to San Diego. And that's how we moved. We ended up here. My mom's family is still in New York. But yeah, we're here in San Diego.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. Now, did they instill that hard work ethic into you?
For
Because
sure.
when you come from that part of the world and then you know, you immigrate to this country, usually those are hardworking, solid people.
Yeah. Hard work is very, very important. I mean, it goes beyond like hard work. I mean, I don't want to just like sit on my couch all day and just play video games and chill out.
That's what Ryan wants to do.
Maybe I want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, you know, it's good to take a break, but I want to be working on something bigger than myself all the time. I want to put all my passion to something bigger than me, like a big passion project. I always want to be improving myself. I always want to be working towards something bigger. That's kind of like what motivates me, what gives me the big drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think with MMA, it's kind of, since you have a passion for it, I mean, such a fast growing sport too, right? The evolution, you know, every 5 years, every 10 years, you know, there's a lot of noise and stuff you can make in the industry. Yeah. So who do you look up to that kind of does what you do in the space?
The Schmo, obviously.
The Schmo's the Schmo, bro.
You guys have the Schmo. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's really cool about him, you know, the Schmo is a character, right? And then, you know, his name's Dave.
Yeah.
But he's such a good guy.
Yeah.
He's such a humble dude, such a good, solid guy. He's hypercritical of himself and everything he does.
Which is where you have to be, right?
That's what I love about him. He's a perfectionist. He's hypercritical. He wants to just really be the best that he can be. I want to go back a little bit. What do your parents think about what you're doing?
They're very proud of me. I think that they get very excited when they see like pictures or videos from different events.
Yeah. Do they pass around? Oh, look at my son.
Yeah. I'll go around.
They send it back to their family in Uzbekistan and look what he's doing.
Yeah, because I'll hang out with my dad's friends sometimes and they'll show me like, oh, your dad posted this on Facebook. And it's like, it's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
You ever feel like that about me? Like,
yeah, no, I mean, being serious, I mean, I think, you know, we're in the trenches together and there's nothing better and nothing tougher at the same time, right? Than being in the trenches with your family. Working with family is, I think, the most difficult thing you can do if you're being raw and real.
Yeah.
Right? If you're just giving everybody a trophy for showing up, that's an easy thing, but we're very raw, we're very real.
Yeah.
You know,
I think,
so I'm super proud. I mean, really think about it. Who at 27 years old is working and owns a promotion like Up Next and making these matches at 27 that has the knowledge and expertise that this clown has?
No, he's not a clown. And you're not just doing it, you know, to do it. You were making great matchups.
Yep.
Very good stylistically. Like, you know what you're doing.
Appreciate
You're very young too. I didn't know you were 27 though. I thought you were like 23, 24. And I was like, my mind was blown. I'm still 27, so young. My mind was
not
blown.
as impressive as 27, but yeah.
Not as impressive, but 27 is still crazy for your position. And you're doing a great job.
Well, people don't think he's the owner of the company. Like this company though, you know, I sit side by side with him because I'm just helping mentor and build this thing. But this is his future. This is him.
Yeah.
One day, bro, you're going to see me where I'm not working that cage door. I'm just going to be sitting at those VIP
You'll have
tables.
a permanent VIP table. We'll have a seat
sipping, or maybe I'll just be sitting watching you do interviews. Maybe I'll be the wrangler for you. I'll bring the fighters over so they can be interviewed by you.
Yeah.
But I mean, that says a lot too, that you operate the cage door. You want to make sure that everything goes smooth.
Yeah.
There's also the center area right there with the commission, and he's smart. He knows what he's doing.
It's a yes and a no, right? Like at the end of the day, I want to ensure, I'm like Schmo, like in a way, like I'm a perfectionist, so I want to make sure everything goes right. But I like being in that moment with the athletes. I like to be there. I like to be a part of it. I think it's more important to kind of be a part of their journey, being there, putting in the work with them in a way, than sitting and having a cocktail, to be honest. Who respects an owner who's just sitting there partying away or drinking? I think I, fortunately, have gained a lot of respect by putting in the work.
Oh, yeah, you're a team player, right?
I try to be.
Yeah, but in like a year or two, I think you can transfer over to the cocktail.
Yeah, I think so.
You put your blood.
Well, dude, I am 57, bro. Like, come on. That's like senior citizen abuse. If you keep making me work think about that, Nick. If they keep making me work the cage door for, you know, a couple more years, that's senior abuse.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So you're pretty familiar with all the UNF fighters, right? For the most part. Yeah. You have a dream matchup for one of the rising stars. You know, let's let you play matchmaker for a sec, or you know, any matchup you can think of.
This could be good.
We got to get to the war room.
July 12th. I mean, we got May 31st. Our next card's July 12th.
I mean, You know what? I don't know. I got to get back to the war room. We got to talk about this. I can make some banger matchups with you, but yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, you guys got some.
I think what you need to do is you got to talk to these other promotions that you're working with. They got to send one of their champions over to fight one of our champions.
Oh yeah, like a
champion versus champ.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
but I mean, you guys have some good matches.
Yeah, but most of these other promotions don't like us.
Really?
Yeah, they don't like us.
They like you because what? They can't get on your level.
That's the problem, right? Because I think we've kind of changed the game a little bit. Where, you know, you look at, since we've come on the scene, these guys have all had to up their social media. Some of them are now starting to do media days like we've done. You know what I mean? Which I think it's good because it elevates everybody. But I don't think a lot of people like us.
Well, yeah.
What do you think they think
I hate when
about
they try
us?
to copy us. So that
You don't have to name names, bro. But come on, what do they really?
I haven't heard like anybody talk trash.
Some of them have to have hated on you for coming and working with us a little bit. Come on. No?
I mean,
nothing
that someone's like told to my face. You know?
No.
I don't know, maybe, but nothing that anybody's told to my face. I hope not, right?
Yeah.
But then going back to the matchups, I like the matchup Brandon Farnsworth versus Wes. Like that was like a very, very good matchup that he did.
That was great.
Wes has a lot of aura when he steps in there, right? And
yeah, I think doesn't he want to come back in
he's
July?
gonna fight in July, yeah.
But he's bulking up. What's he gonna fight at?
155.
55?
Yeah.
So who did you guys think won that fight? I know it was Rachel Close.
After rewatching it, I give it to Weston. Not Oli, but like the rest stood him up, and Weston landed barrage of punches, which was way more effective than anything else Brendan did that round. Although I thought Brendan was edging it out.
Yeah.
By just getting the takedown and kind of being on top and trying to grind it out.
What'd you think?
At the time, I like both guys. I just got to say this first. Both guys are great athletes. But when I was watching, I've never rewatched it, but when I was watching, I thought that Brendan like Razor.
I always tell these guys, and I'm not trying to shit on judges or the refs or anything, but I always tell the fighters, never leave it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah.
Right? Which is easier said than done. But yeah, I've just seen some really bad. I'm not saying that's a bad decision, but I've just seen so many bad decisions. It just really irks me.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's crazy.
You think you could be a ref or a judge? Yeah. Honestly.
I could be a decent one. I'm not going to say I'd get it right every single time, but I would be pretty good.
Ref or a judge? Or both?
I'd rather judge than ref.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll probably be a judge. A ref is a cool job because you get the closest view, but it also is kind of hard. Like, if you make a bad stoppage here and there, like everybody's on you when you're trying to protect the fighter. You're doing what's best in that second. So
yeah, I think that's because you're playing with the safety of it.
I could never do either.
Judging, I feel like it's. I don't know.
There have been times I'll watch a fight there in real time and think one thing, and then I rewatch and like, what was I? I didn't see this. I didn't see that. I didn't see this.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. No credit to the judges and the refs. We're not shit talking them. I think I could do a decent job, but not saying I'd get it right every time either. But I got enough knowledge on it.
So let's talk about your cameraman that rolls with you.
Oh yeah, dude, give
him some props. Bro.
Yeah, he's amazing. His name's Ben. He's my cousin, so we're blood related together. And he helps me throughout this whole journey. He's like my biggest consultant in a way. And yeah, he's like my brother in there. He has my back when I'm doing all these interviews. He gives me good comms, gives me some motivation here and there when I need it to interview these fighters. And yeah, he's like my right-hand man.
So give us a breakdown. So, he's doing all the shooting. Do you do all the editing yourself or how does it all work?
Yeah, I go
Tell
home.
us about the MMA Kid machine.
Oh yeah, the machine. We're in the compound. We're slaving these interviews, doing all the edits. But yeah, I mean, I use 2 different editing platforms. I watch the video, see how it went, cut clips, add some sound effects, and then I'll put the captions on it, and we'll get it ready to post. I'll find exactly who I collab with. You guys make it easier because you guys actually do a good job with like collabing with all the coaches and the team. And so, I'll see who I need to collab with and I'll post it.
Well, that's a shout out to Jeremy McPeak, right? I think that's one thing that is really giving us, I think, a competitive edge in the space so that we invest so much in social media. Jeremy manages our account. Yeah. And Jeremy just really gets it. He's just so awesome.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy's great.
Yeah. Why is he so great?
He's a GOAT. Well, you kind of already said it, but Jeremy cares about what he does.
Yeah.
And Jeremy puts it all together.
He gets all pissed off if people give us like crappy content or this and that. Like he's just crazy.
Everything you guys post is like high regard content.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. We're trying. We're learning. Have you ever done a bunch of interviews and them not turned out like for technical difficulties or?
Oh my, yeah. I used to use a
was your SD card ever full? Or not?
Look at Chris. Put the camera on yourself, bro. It's not turned on. Chris over there, like, no, Chris is like taking pictures or doing something. He forgot to put the SD card in the camera.
Thankfully, I've never ran out of storage, but I have left my mic like unplugged by a little bit because I use an adapter, and so it's just the whole interview just.
Bro, let's talk about the time you were at our event and your mic got stolen by the drunk dude.
Yeah, I'm interviewing Roman, who just got an insane knockout. And I go back to find my mic and it's not there. So I'm like asking Jeremy, I'm asking some of the people who are there. I'm like, where's my mic? It's not there. So, you know, that guy took it. So I just used my cameraman's phone. And so I just used that as a mic, but that was an interesting experience.
Yeah, he stole your mic and he stole Jeremy's son's mic also. Yeah. But the guy's just a dumbass. Yeah. Like, we identified who he was. Yeah. I mean, I know the guy, right? But total dumbass. Commerce has like killer security cam. We identified him. So George, you know, our partner, who's just an Armenian gangster, basically.
I was thinking the same thing because Jeremy went up to him and George was like eating an apple. Like it was like a movie. He was like, yeah, I'll take care of it. Like,
and George did. George put some words out and next thing you know, it gets, you know, UPS back here to the office and I sent you back your mic. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, he stole my mic. That's my face on it and everything. So it's like, what a weird thing to steal.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think anyone should steal, but if you're going to steal, why are you stealing a mic?
Listen, I think he's a decent dude or whatever, but I think he was just drunk out of his freaking mind, just being a dummy, you know? There are times where I want to just like blackball him or be a dick about it, but I'm just like, is it even
Nah, it's okay.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah. Definitely. I had a question I wanted to ask. What I wanted to ask?
You forgot?
I think it was like 20 minutes ago.
All right, so May 31st, we've got Albert Morales versus Johnny Robles. What's your prediction for that fight?
Honestly, for that fight, I know it's two top-level guys, and what makes it even more interesting is the storyline to it. Honestly, I'm going to ask you guys. Like, I'm not sure who's going to win.
Fuck that. You need to answer the question. You can't just turn it back on.
He's trying to be fucking Switzerland. Yeah, trying to be like neutral, bro. Come on.
It's a tough matchup.
It is I think
you better be careful what you say. Samurai may come for you. If you pick Johnny, Samurai may come for you, bro.
I think it's a 50-50 fight.
It's a tough fight.
But I think the stakes, and we've talked about this before, the stakes are just so high, right? Very, very Albert high. To get back to the UFC and Johnny to get to the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Albert has a lot of experience as well.
You can't count Albert out, bro.
And if he can win this fight, he probably gets the call back, right?
Well, look at it. I think his last fight with Chase dominated that entire first round. Albert comes out and knocks the shit out of Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking Robles had the performance he did against Romero.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
That was crazy too.
Yeah. And like I watched Anthony Romero's fight because the last one I was there and I was very, very impressed by him. So when he beat him, it was a little bit of like a wow, like this guy's that good.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the bully's supposed to be on this next card too, but the bully's going to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
I think he now, quote unquote, has something to prove.
Mm-hmm. Oh, most definitely. This fight I'm very interested in just because the matchup itself. I think there's a lot of variables to it. Christopher London.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
David Rivera.
Yeah.
I think that fight's going to be interesting.
Christopher London's pretty good. Like, because I remember him talking about how, because in our interview, he told me like his debut, he kind of shit the bed. And he's like, he's really leveled up now. He has very, very technical striking. His Muay Thai is pretty good. And he's fast. He has like that twitch in him. That knockout I just watched on the last card that he was at. It was a very, very good knockout.
Yeah.
That dude's a beast.
So how is it when you kind of approach these promotions trying to, you know, get your foot in the door? Have you had any doors shut in your face or is everybody usually pretty welcoming?
No, I haven't had any doors shut in my face.
Nice.
Yeah, for the most part, it's just, you know, either DMing the promotion or the promoter and just trying to, you know, get a relationship and work in with them.
I like that.
Yeah.
We got to get you in the UFC soon, bro.
Yeah.
I'm giving it 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 1-2 years you'll get in there. For sure.
Yeah. Are you working, building your following?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm really looking forward to it. I went out to my last UFC fight that I went to for my birthday. My dad took me. It was Ilya versus Volkanovski. Oh, that was like a spectacle. And the undercard was also Henry Cejudo was on there. I'm a massive fan of Henry Cejudo. I know he kind of like gets a lot of hate.
Really? You're a big fan of Henry?
Yeah.
I don't know, Ron. Are you a fan of Henry's?
What about you?
No, yes and no. Like not a crazy fan.
Why are you a fan of Henry's?
I just think you just can't deny what he did. He's triple C, right?
No, for sure. He's accomplished great things. And he's freaking short as shit. And he does really good against everyone.
I like his style. Like he has yeah.
Striking.
He has a good stand-up.
Can you do that again? What's his style? There you go. Okay.
A good karate stance. It's very, very interesting. I was rooting. I thought DJ was gonna win, and then after he beat DJ, I was like, "Whoa, this guy's on the map." And then he beats TJ Dillashaw, in like 15 seconds, and you know he's beat some of the all-time greats. He deserves to have some respect on his name, and so I was really looking forward to watching that fight. But when I was watching the fight, you know, I was looking down. I was just watching like the media, and I was like, you know, I want to be there. Like this, I'm so passionate about the sport. Imagine sitting like cage side and just watching like all the people I look up to, and I can get to talk to them and interview them. It's like all these people I've looked up to my entire life. So it would just be crazy to get my foot in the door there.
Well, let's get you there.
Yeah.
Who's the next UFC superstar? Who do you think is up and coming? Who's going to be the next big thing?
Honestly, there is quite a bit.
Christopher Taco Padilla.
Yeah. No, Christopher Taco, he definitely has. I think is he like three? He's either 2-0 or 3-0 now.
3-0.
Yeah, he's 3-0 now. The first one was a short notice call, right?
Yep.
And he's done a phenomenal job in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, a guy who, because it's like a mix of where you can go up to a casual, like a person who's not really tuned into MMA, and you can ask them a name and they'll just say it, even though they haven't even watched the fights. And I'm kind of seeing like Patty, because like I have some friends at work, like sometimes I'll ask them about UFC and they don't really know anything, but they'll say the Sean O'Malley, they'll say the Patty. And so I think like, you know, Patty's in this position now where the next guy he fights is going to be he's going to be a really tough test, like super tough.
What do you think about that, Ryan?
Yeah, I totally
Patty?
agree. I mean, I think Patty's already kind of right there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even call him up and coming superstar anymore. I think he's a superstar. No matter, you could put him on a pay-per-view without a belt on the line, he's going to sell that place out.
Right, but I want to get you guys on the record now picking a future superstar. Right? That way we can watch back and see if you guys know your shit or you don't. Because you both claim to know MMA, which I seriously kind of doubt. But let's just see if you guys are legit or not.
I'm trying to think. No names are popping in
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You guys are casuals.
Oh my God. Can I check my phone?
Check your phone. Go for it, bro. You want to like phone a friend or something and just get a little insight?
I have this guy. I just don't know his name. He was on the Contender Series, I believe.
Okay.
So let me just go find what his name is.
I have no clue.
No, I'm
But
drawing.
you guys are supposed to be MMA aficionados. No,
I'm way more worried about UNF than UFC at the moment.
you should
at
be.
this moment. In my
UNF,
life, yeah.
I'll choose Parkev. Parkev's a beast.
No, Parkev's a
You can't
superstar
go
already
wrong with
in
Parkev.
UNF.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to, him making his pro debut. I think Parkev, 4 or 5 wins I think he'll get the call sooner than most.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's got an impressive resume already.
And he's really he's exciting to watch too.
Yeah, I mean, look, Parkev himself said he had to go pro because he cleaned out the division, which who at flyweight would face him at this point?
This guy's name is Loner. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his first name right, but it's Kavanaugh.
Oh yeah, I've seen him fight. I watched
Yeah.
his most recent fight.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yes, this guy.
Yeah, I'm still drawing a blank. I mean, I don't know. Michael Morales, who's fighting freaking Gilbert Burns this weekend, if he puts him out in good fashion, he's gonna be right there too. Because he's a problem for everyone in that division.
Yeah. And Gilbert Burns is like the biggest underdog of his career. He's like plus 810 or 850.
Yeah.
Bro, this game is just so up and down.
Yeah.
1 second, these dudes are at the top.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, he already kind of is. But if JDM can get past Islam, which after watching the Bilal fight, you think there's a shot, it's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
He might be one of the biggest ones in the sport too if he gets past Islam.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, anyone who beats Islam right now is going to become one of the biggest superstars in the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I got Islam all day for that.
Maybe we can make a friendly wager on that one.
We should. Okay, we should.
Ooh.
I'll hold you up to that.
Let's talk about that. Why do you have Islam?
I think that Islam is already big for a lightweight. And I just think that he has everything. He's a very complete fighter. Yes, he has amazing grappling, but he knows how to set it up with the striking. I think he has very, very good strike. He stood with Dustin Poirier and strike for all those
He was
rounds.
dripping blood at the end of the fight.
He was.
Yeah,
His face was busted up. But JDM,
Listen, JDM's a different beast. And this is what I see from Islam. And I mean, maybe it's probably because of the wrestling and everything, but you've never seen someone put the pace on Islam. It's Islam putting the pace on someone else.
that is true.
If you saw JDM fight versus Bilal, who's a cardio machine, puts a pace, breaks everyone, JDM broke him.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a really good matchup both ways. Like I don't think either guy would cakewalks the other guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I really think
I just
JDM.
don't find Islam exciting.
Well, Islam's actually more exciting than like Khabib or like.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm
I
not
just
gonna
don't find
lie.
him exciting. But again, I'm not an aficionado like you guys. I take pride in being just a fanboy, right? I'm a casual, to be honest with
No,
you guys.
I don't think so.
No, I think I know how to.
And I
build
respect
a-
all the Dagestanian fighters. Like Khabib, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Islam, one of the greatest. Like all the guys, Ankalaev, so amazing. Like great. But like, I don't know why. Like, I always kind of root against them just because they're so dominant.
Yeah.
Like, they're so dominant that I kind of root against them.
Like, these guys are skilled, and I agree with everything you said. But as a fan, I like to see blood. I like to see excitement. I like to see dudes knocked out. I like to see that, and I think that's what fans want to see.
Yeah,
I know when we're at Up Next, the roof blows off that place when someone's getting knocked out of their blood, or you got a Brian Dow in that cage, or an Anthony Romero. The fans are standing up. That's what I like to see.
Remember that Tommy fight?
Yeah, wow, that was
very bloody. That was a good fight.
Can you say his opponent's name?
Butsumbero.
Where's he from? Mongolia?
Yeah, the Mongolian. That's what we said. We had a recap of the show. We're just gonna call him the Mongolian because Butsumbero.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That Tommy is such a beast.
Yeah.
I honestly felt Tommy won that fight. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I haven't rewatched that one, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That fight was so chaotic. I didn't even know. I just knew it was crazy, and they were going back and forth.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's what's really special about MMA athletes. There is just no quit in these guys. They put their heart and their soul on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And it just sucks that they don't make bigger money.
Yeah.
I think. When you compare them to other athletes,
Other sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just honestly, the other sports have so many more eyeballs on them.
Yeah.
And they touch so many different markets, and
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, MMA has grown tremendously. Do you think it's going to keep growing? Do you think it's going to become the level of the, MLB or NBA or the NFL one day? Or
110%. The UFC specifically, and MMA, obviously, because the UFC is it's like a pyramid. It brings up all the other organizations. MMA as a whole has grown exponentially. Because when I first got into watching UFC, I would go to school and I would talk about UFC, and I feel like not a lot of people would really know what it is. Yeah. And now it's that's impossible. Everybody
it's honestly so cool. So even the last 3 years, I think 3, 4, 5 years, it's already grown. But I was always in the UFC, so I would talk to people too. But now it's I meet, whether it's my girlfriend's friend's boyfriend or this person, tell them what I do for a living. Everyone knows all the shit about UFC. They know what's going on. It's kind of crazy how much it's grown.
Yeah.
And I think it's the most authentic and real and intriguing sport out of them all.
Yeah. It is.
It's a really interesting industry as a whole, right? You look at Bellator going belly up, and you look at Global Fight League or whatever that
over before it started.
Yeah, signed a bunch of people, and then all of a sudden, they've sort of folded, had to cancel their first event. I think it's a really interesting business.
It is,
but I don't think anybody can compete with the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, they share a lot of the market share already.
No, they have such a machine. They have so much money behind them.
I think when Dana White retires, there's going to be a little wave in the industry.
Listen, Dana's a special dude.
Right? Sure.
Not everybody.
He's the face. He's the fucking face of the UFC.
Ryan,
they have great fighters too, but he's the face of the UFC.
He's that heart of that organization.
100%.
I don't know how you replace a guy like that.
That's what I'm saying. I do think when he steps down, even though it might not be for a while, he seems like a freaking workaholic and just loves what he does. But when he steps down, I think there's going to be little waves, and there's going to be room for promotions and promoters to kind of build a brand and kind of compete.
Yeah.
But I think right now the UFC is amazing. They have a chokehold on the freaking industry as far as being the top.
Oh, for sure.
The top promotion. But there will be some things in the industry that kind of change a little bit, I think, as time goes on.
What do you think? I
mean, Joe Rogan even said once Dana's done, I'm out too. I was surprised to hear that, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some waves. I think Dana White, especially the post fight press conferences, he brings this real energy.
I love him.
He is so real.
He's the first person you want to hear from, realistically, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one thing I love about him is he doesn't buy into the bullshit. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks.
Yeah.
He's not apologetic. One day I want to be like that. I'm not saying from the fight side of things, just even in life, just to be, this is how I feel. Go fuck yourself.
Like a Harvey Specter type of thing.
I love Harvey Specter.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I just want to be able to do that. But I think Dana is just such a respectable figure because he puts the work in. He's just not a figurehead. I think, the guys running PFL and this Global File, these are all just figureheads.
Yeah.
But you got this dude who lives and breathes, knows the athletes, who's involved in the matchmaking.
Yeah.
He could be just sitting in his office just collecting a check, but this dude is in the trenches.
Yeah, he's grinding.
Yeah. I think that's why he's got everybody's respect. I mean, not everybody likes him or respects him, but
He's in the war room, grinding out meetings, staying up late with Sean Shelby and Hunter.
Yeah, it's like a little cult, it seems like a little bit. You know what I mean? They've definitely got a great thing going.
Yeah.
100%.
100%, Ryan?
I think, as 100% as I could be. I mean, I'm not there with them in the war room, but I think they got a great thing going. Yeah.
All right, Nick. So let's talk about UNF for a sec. So what does UNF need to be doing that we're not doing, you think? How do we take our shit to the next level, bro?
hire
What guidance can you provide us as an MMA aficionado?
The thing is like, I feel like you guys are like a golden standard in the promotions, because your promotion is I don't know the full behind the scenes, but it is very, even if it is chaos, it's very controlled chaos. I can tell that you guys are very, very tight knit with your team. And that's very, very important, because communication is very, very important, because if somebody's doing this and you don't know that they're doing that, it could like kind of mess up a show. You know, especially like you're there running the cage door, you're kind of officiating and seeing everything. And so communication is very, very important. As I said, promotion and social media, you guys have it on lockdown. Like I don't think that there's a better promotion that does that. And obviously the matchmaking is just so incredible. And I was watching the podcast with you guys talking to George, and he was saying how like it's not all about just finding good matches and putting them. Like you got to know like where to put them to like hype the card up.
Yeah.
I'm sure like you obviously know that a lot as well. So I think that you guys do a phenomenal job. I mean, the only advice, and this is not even advice, it's like, what do you guys do better, and how can you guys even make it better? How can you guys take it on another level? Because there's nothing that I see that you guys do and I'm like, they don't do it right. Like, no, it's like you guys are the standard. Like this is exactly what you should be doing. There's not like big delays between the fights. The walkouts are phenomenal. Rain she does a great job.
How cool is Rain?
I love Rain.
She's very cool.
She's great at what she does.
If you watch her, how she used to be compared to now, like she's evolved so much. It's just so cool.
She has evolved. Now she's really good, but she's even better person than she is right now.
The one thing I want to say too, you talk about the team. I think what's important in any team, any business, is buy-in, right? And passion. Rain is such a passionate person. She takes the time to come to Content Day on her own. She's not getting paid for it. She'll come to interview these athletes, make sure she pronounces their name right, knows their story, has a really good understanding about them. You know, I think the one thing that sets us different, we're just not a bunch of casuals coming together to host an event
for the money, right? You got to do it for passion.
Listen, man, if our team did it for the money, they wouldn't be doing it. We're still a startup, right? We're not a profitable business yet. You know, we're building the brand, and that's fine, right? It takes time. But you have a bunch of passionate people coming together, working as a team. Whereas a lot of these other promotions don't really have a team. They just come together to host an event. So I think I always say this, like the difference between us is these guys host events. We're building a brand. You know, and that brand is not only Up Next, it's our core fighters too.
Like, what is it like when you bring like some of your friends to Up Next?
I mean, like the first couple events, they were like, they see the production, the lighting, they're like, oh shit, what the fuck, you guys do this? Now they just come, they go to the door, they walk in for free. I didn't approve.
Everybody wants free tickets now.
No, but they think it's really cool. And like a lot of my friends are like UFC fans and everything. But what's really cool is like maybe some girls want to come to the event, or they get invited to come and they don't know about the UFC, never been to something like that in their life. They come, and by the end of the night, they have the best time of their life. Like they're like, well, I never
Are you talking about the girls that when you were single that you would invite to the event to like?
I'm just talking
show
about
off a little bit. Is those the girls you're talking about?
Not everything's about that way of girls. Just they're girls.
Bro, you trying to pull the juice card like, hey, okay, you want to come to the event? Da 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 da. You know.
What juice? My juice. What do you mean? No, but what I'm saying is like for the event, at least, like all the boys, like they love it. They come. They think it's great. They think we're doing something special with UNF. But I think one thing we've created with UNF, we're talking about other promotions, is some other guys still put on great fight cards and it's a great fight, but the environment and atmosphere we built is more of like a nightclub going out type of vibe, as opposed to
not a strip club.
You're just coming here and watching fights. No, not a strip club.
Not a strip club.
Why is there a promotion that gives?
No, I don't want to shit on anybody, bro. No, look, I think we run a classier, I like to say a classier experience. I want it to be an experience. And that one thing I like about our events is like the girls and the guys are dressing up. It's like a classier environment. Right? I remember, one time, George, our partner, is like, hey, I got this potential sponsor. They do classical dancing or some shit. This is what he sells us on. Yeah, they want to bring a couple pole things and they'll set up, but they do theatrical classic dancing. So we're like, okay, let's try it. Bro, it was two chicks on stripper poles, basically.
When I walked into the venue and saw that,
my wife lost her shit. She's like, are we doing this? I'm like, well, it was supposed to be this. She's all, Chris, these are freaking strippers. This is family. This is not classy. This. And so that one event we had to do it, but we'd never have done anything.
I didn't like it when we saw it either. I was like,
no, like, bro, but it wasn't sold to us that way.
And they weren't.
George is like a hustler.
They
bro.
weren't
He's like,
actually strippers. Yeah,
bro, they look like strippers.
they look like them, but they weren't
You
actually.
even look at our cage girls. Our cage girls wear pants, right? They're not wearing booty shorts, and we believe in putting together a classier product.
Yeah.
There's a
To
time.
attract all ages and everybody can come, right?
Yeah, but dude, my wife, bro, she was not happy. How would your mom feel if she walked in a place like that?
Probably not happy either.
Old school, traditional, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't a good look.
Yeah.
It happens. Never again.
Never again. Never again. What would you think about up next getting involved in doing some kickboxing and some other combat sports type of stuff? Not to take away from our premier product, which is our MMA brand, but expanding.
I think I saw yesterday, you guys are promoting the boxing fight, right?
Yeah, so there's a boxing event. Well, we're big on mental health awareness and things like that. That's the topic that's near and dear to our hearts. So we partnered up with 559 Media, which is hosting a boxing event to raise awareness on mental health. We've tapped in with Nick Morgan, who runs a recovery facility.
Great guy.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
So we're kind of supporting that boxing event, helping to get the word out.
Yeah. Johnny Mansour is on that card.
Yeah.
You want to come?
Maybe, yeah.
You should come. Let me know.
Yeah.
They got some big time press people coming to that thing. Okay. We're not running that. We're just supporting, but let me know if you want to roll to that.
Okay.
Try to get you some credentials. That means you'll have to come back to LA again this week. So
Yeah, I think you should definitely do that. I have a question. What's the biggest adversity you faced? Maybe not even just work life.
Yeah.
Just growing up, life, anything that's shaped you.
come on, man. Share some of your dirty laundry with us a little bit.
Not dirty laundry, but what's something you face, and that, maybe toughest thing you've had to face?
I mean, there's a couple of things, but I mean, it all comes down to like, don't ever take anything for granted and never stay in your comfort zone, because I feel like if you stay in your comfort zone too much, you get comfortable. You need to be like, what's my biggest goal? Let me do that yesterday. You got to be like really going like a little bit fast paced, I mean, I've gone through a couple of different stuff. I mean, so I had 2 knee surgeries, and so, I'm all good now, but I mean, just like laying on the bed, you're just thinking, cause I couldn't like really get up for like, a couple of days. I was just thinking like, man, it's very, very nice to be up and moving, right? Yeah. Just grateful for the small
to be able to
things.
walk. Yeah,
because there are people who are like older and they're like bedridden, because they're, something happened to their back or, old age, and they're kind of just sitting there like watching TV all day. Like that's someone's life right now. And you have to be very, very grateful just that I can like stand up, I can sit down, I can move my body. But I mean, another thing was like me going to college, like Riverside. I feel like for me it was a little bit more than that. Like I was like, hey, I'm like cooped up here for the next 4 years. I can't really do that much. When I got back home, it was like I'm in the land of like opportunity. Like I can get my car, I can drive to LA, I can drive to all these promotions, I can do whatever I want. And so I'm always really trying to like grow and become like better and better and better.
I like that.
I like that too.
I like that mindset.
Yeah.
How much do you like that mindset?
No, I really think that mindset is the key to everything. I feel like, mindset and hard work beats talent any day, to be honest.
It'd be hard for you to go to school for 4 years, bro. You want to be running around, hustling.
No, I mean,
he'll drop out. If he gets a call from the UFC, he'll drop out, right? Put it out to the...
I don't know.
What would you say to Dana right now? Like if Dana picked up the phone, come on, pick up your phone.
Me?
MMA Kid?
Am I through?
No, MMA Kid, you there? Hello, Dana White, UFC.
Dana, it's a pleasure.
All right.
How are you?
I heard you on the Fight Family podcast. Give me your pitch.
My pitch is very, very simple, Dana. I'm the hardest working guy you know. I'm not doing this for anything other than pure love and passion. I love your product. I love your fights that you put on every single night. I'll bring the value. I'll bring the love, and I'm in.
Sign him up.
Sign him right
Sign him up.
Sign him up.
Come on, Dana, make that call.
That's fucking great.
Oh, man.
That was great. You for sure practiced in the mirror a couple times. That's the exact scenario. Because you did great. You killed it.
It's weird. Like, Taco Padilla, we had him on the pod and he just talked about his opportunity. He was fighting. He was our champ. An opportunity just presented itself, right? One day just presented itself, right? Yeah. So hopefully that same thing can happen for you.
For sure.
What else is in the near future for you? You're covering.
You got a girlfriend?
events?
No, I don't have a
No girlfriend?
Not
Okay.
yet,
Why
not
no
yet.
girlfriend, bro?
I don't know.
Are you looking for one? Because we can plug you up right now on the Fight Family
Plug me in with
podcast.
some nice Jewish girls.
All right, I got you. For sure.
Oh, my wife's got you right there, bro.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, honestly, be careful what you wish for. I don't know. Fuck. But we got you. Yeah. Matchmaker for MMA by day, matchmaker for couples by night.
Matchmaker for everything.
Yeah, you guys started coming up here hanging out with Ryan a little bit.
Yeah.
Ryan's got some game, and his girlfriend's a real cutie. She's got some cute friends.
Yeah.
Who knows what magic could happen.
Never know. But
on,
I welcome you whenever you want to come down here, hit my line. I got you.
I'll
Well,
take
can
that.
you like bring a few of them to the next event? That way MMA Kid
There's always a few of them at the event.
Yeah.
Not everyone's busy with the cage door. Everyone gets to see other people.
So what's your plan for interviews at the next UNF event? Anything different? Anything?
I mean, always just like mentally stepping up my game, always doing a little bit more research, always kind of seeing, I don't want to keep asking the same questions over and over again. So I'm always looking for a different angle, a different vibe maybe to set at the beginning of the interview. I like to hype up the fighters a little bit too before. Yeah, have a great time.
Nice.
Well, I think you're going to kill it.
Thank you.
I know you're going to kill it. Well, we really appreciate you, coming and covering up next, one from the promotional perspective, but also, for the athletes. I think it's really, really important that, athletes, get their interviews with you, build their brand. I think that the cool thing is you're preparing them also to get to the big show.
I have a question for you guys. Like, out of the big UFC fighters, who would you say out of like all time, doesn't have to be it right now, who hyped you up the most? Like, you can't wait for tomorrow night to see that fight.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I have to say that too. Conor McGregor in his prime.
Yes.
I have to also put that disclaimer there because kind of not a fan of like the current.
Even when he came back and fought Donald Cerrone. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of how he is personally, but there's no one with like more aura that gravitates you to want to watch them ever.
Well, listen, I think he's the GOAT in my opinion. He's the GOAT. How to build your brand.
I think
outside the cage
Hamza
and
Chimaev is
inside.
the next guy, to be honest.
He could be, bro.
He's an animal. He will never get to the level of a Conor.
No, but like the next guy, like I don't think anyone's gonna be like Conor.
Yeah,
Going on the
that's
rosters
true.
like that, but I think right now with like aura and like unbeatable and just talk shit, doesn't give whatever. I think it's.
But I think what made Conor so dominant as a whole was his outside the cage presence.
100%. Yeah.
too.
I mean, he had like, because everybody in a way wants to live like vicariously through the fighter.
Yeah.
But it's something different where it's like this guy is more, he's like aura, it's something different.
He's like a god.
He's larger than life.
He's something higher. Yeah, it's larger than life. And Conor McGregor was that. Like, I think Sean O'Malley was like another big one, but he kind of got like too relatable sometimes. Like,
Yeah, I feel like he like gave up
to him a little bit.
He gave up the shtick a little bit because it's a lot of work like putting on this personality, this persona. Like he started being a regular person.
he
a little
started
bit.
being like a little like goofy a little bit.
Yeah, like which I love seeing that
Yeah.
too. Like I'm cool with that, but it's just not the same vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could compare Conor McGregor to Dana White in a way too, right? Dana White is his own brand outside the UFC,
Yeah.
and he's so powerful, so dominant. Like, look, he's doing power slap, he's doing the fucking bull riding bullshit.
Conor McGregor's just a different breed, though.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite, I know you don't like the Dagestanis.
No, I like them.
Habib in his prime run, I was like really like
Yeah, no, don't take it away. Like, I think super talented, amazing athlete. But if you're talking about putting asses in seats and just the
of course.
putting on a
Habib
show,
only did that after he beat McGregor.
Yeah. But for me, it was like, you know what Habib's going to do. Everybody knows his game plan, but nobody can do
Nobody
a thing
can stop
about it.
him.
Yeah.
I just love when he fought McGregor and he's talking
Yeah.
to him. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when McGregor said, what'd he say? It's all business.
It's
or
all
something.
business,
Yeah,
bro.
he's getting his fucking face.
Yeah. Let's wrestle. But all business, all
Those
business.
Dagestan, they don't play, bro. It's
Yeah.
not all business to them. You're
Yeah.
gonna talk to them. It's personal.
Oh, yeah.
And they're gonna make you pay.
Yeah.
I feel like you're more like the Dagestanis when it comes to that kind of stuff.
No, real, yeah, bro. Like, look, if I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna fight like a Dagestani for sure,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I think it's the smartest way to fucking be. I'm gonna grind you. I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
put the hurting on you. I'm not gonna
Listen,
stand there and
there's
go-
nothing more
I'm not gonna stand there
personal
and
than
go toe-to-toe
fighting.
with you.
There's also nothing more personal than fighting too.
Yeah.
I mean, I love when fighters can shake hands after, but you guys are both punching each other in the face, trying to take each other's health away for money. Like
Yeah.
it's a personal fucking job. I think at least. Like it's very
What's
personal.
crazy though, like if you think about Taco Padilla, right, and some of his
way
performances in the UNF cage has really demolished and hurt people really badly. And the guy's the nicest, humble
yeah.
guy ever gonna meet.
Another guy like that is Knife Face. Like you talk to him, he's very classy, he's chill, but he like unlocks, lets a part of himself out. he just goes towards you and starts beating the shit out of you.
Yeah, no, if he could go on a run with it, like he has a good, like he puts up a good persona too. He has a good personality. Like if he could go on a run, and he could really build himself up.
And his suits.
Yeah,
Nice.
listen, Knifeface again knows how to build the brand. I mean, he's a brand outside the cage and inside the cage, right?
Yeah.
He showed up at Content Day in this bright red suit.
Yeah.
He had some dude following him doing what's it called, a vlog? What's
Vlog.
it? A vlog. Sorry.
Oh, vlog, old man, if you want.
Whatever, a vlog. He was doing a vlog, which I had no clue we were being recorded the whole time. I'm like, oh shit, I hope I didn't say anything stupid. No, seriously, Nick, I was thinking, I'm like, oh shit, what did I say or what did I do? Yeah, but I think he's super smart the way he's building his brand, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything else we needed to cover today? I feel like we've covered a lot of ground. I mean,
I think we covered
behind the scenes with the MMA Kid,
Yes, sir.
up and coming MMA reporter, getting out there telling the fighter stories.
Yeah, and we're gonna make a little friendly bet on that.
Yeah.
Make it now. Let's lock it in now. So it's on tape. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I want to see the odds first. 'Cause I don't want to put 100 versus 100 when it's plus 300 or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm gonna take JDM. He's gonna take.
I'll take it.
Let's put $50 on it.
Let's put 100.
All right, 100. Yeah, $100.
$100.
I didn't know, like, what kind of vibe you want to go. Shit.
Let's go
We
100,
can-
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Wait,
enough.
you guys have a compound here. I wasn't expecting to. There's bodyguard snipers like Raymond Reddington compound.
Yeah,
You guys
no,
have a
that's what we love.
compound.
It's like real life Call of Duty over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think you know what I do in my normal world.
There's
but
there's probably some other insane
Yeah.
business. Like
yeah.
it's actually crazy. I took a video of like your meeting room with. I love how you guys have all the photos of all the champions and the crazy moments. Like that is like the dream office. Like you guys literally have the dream office. It's so
Yeah.
sick.
Did you go into his office?
I think so.
It's in the garage, the dream office.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I
You
did.
say it like it's a bad thing.
No, it's just a joke. I love my office.
No,
You
I did.
crazy?
It's so cool. It's like a war room.
I'm blessed.
It's a mini
Yeah.
war room.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
have a match.
Whiteboards and everything.
That's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
It's
well,
so cool.
we think it's important. Like, I don't think a lot of people have office space and do what we do. Like,
Especially like a promotion on our level to say
Yeah.
with regional, but we're deep and we're it's great that you got to come see. We want to like more eyes to kind of really see
Yeah.
what we got going on. So
No wonder the productivity is so high. Like it's your guys' office.
but
is
we
so cool.
crack the whip around here. I mean, he's really awesome. You know, we do weekly team meetings. So
Yeah.
on Mondays, the whole team will get together. You know, most of the team that works here go over what we've got to do. This guy, like, I don't think people really realize he runs our social media schedule with Jeremy. So coordinating all the content, getting out. It's
saving
like
saving
so
stuff
much.
on our server,
I love that.
fighter
dude.
relations, which Sherelle helps me with a lot. of things. Like,
Sherelle's
a beast.
amazing.
Graphics, ideas for graphics, videos, which he helps me with too. But yeah, we really do a lot more than I think what people kind of think. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But honestly, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool when you can build something and then you can see it come to fruition. Like, I mean, you're
Yes.
building your following, like where you started, kind of
Yeah.
where you're at now.
It's truly incredible.
No, it's got to be great. Like you're now recognized, you know, at every promotion. Like, oh, it's the MMA Kid. It's the MMA Kid.
I know it's such a good feeling because when I started, I'm like, hey, can I please get an interview with you? You know, I have this MMA media page on Instagram, and now people are coming up to me, MMA Kid, like, and sometimes if people win another promotion I'm not covering, they'll text me, hey, we had our interview in spirit. Or sometimes if they lose, they'll text me, hey man, we'll interview next time. Unfortunately, couldn't make the interview tonight. It's like the interview is part of the culture.
So I want to talk to you about something because I have a problem. Only interviewing winners. Another problem. I really like all athletes getting the opportunity to get interviewed,
If they want it, right?
Yes.
If they want.
I agree. Because there's some that are very like competitive and just so down on themselves that would not want to.
Yeah.
But no, you should be willing to, as promotion and content creators,
Yes.
to give them that shot
Yeah.
they want. Because some great sound bites and great things also come from the guys that
100%.
maybe are feeling down in that moment, but there's other
You look at
things.
Daryl Westphal taking the pictures with you after he got beat by Knifeface. His face is all jacked up
Yes.
and everything. Those pictures, like,
Yeah.
still enjoying the moment, even though he took an L.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
He's
on
a different
The
breed.
thing about me is like I'm very real. Like I'm not gonna sacrifice my relationship with a fighter for a clip. So like there's other people who probably like force an interview or force a clip, ask a question that doesn't make sense. No. My first priority is the relationship with the fighter. So if someone you just lost, I'm not gonna go in their face with the camera. Hey, please interview me. No. But I would love to interview them if they're okay with it as well. And I think that's a very, very good interview too, because after you lost, you want to kind of know like, hey, what went wrong in that fight? I think that's a really good question. Like, what do you think went wrong in that fight? Or if there was a good moment for them too, that's also a good question. But having their analysis is that's a really, really good question to ask. Good analysis.
Yeah. I think I like telling both sides. Of
Yeah.
everything.
No, for sure. As long as they're cool with it, because I do think you get some great,
Yeah.
not just sound bites, but I think people love emotion. People love to see like an underdog story as well. So you get those sound bites.
The underdog stories.
This guy can say, I was down and out today, but my next fight, I'm coming back. And next fight, they get a knockout. You replay that clip. And there's just all this cool stuff that you can do with it.
Yeah. Listen, Nick, when you beat Ryan in the MMA cage, he's going to run out the door.
I've been doing jiu-jitsu and striking for like 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was a blue belt at 16 in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
he's flexing on you right now. He's trying to intimidate you.
He said I was kind, you know? I was like, ah.
No, this guy has respect.
No, he's got a mean right hand, bro.
Beat him up.
No, I'm too old. Like, again, that's senior abuse at this point.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you considered a senior after 55?
I don't even know. I'm not old enough to really know that kind of stuff.
Do the research, bro. Like, but I think it's 55. So technically, that's a felony if you mess with
me. It's a felony?
Sorry. I won't mess with you.
All right. I think we should wrap this thing up.
Sure. Yes.
Cool. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everything that you do for all the athletes and what you do for Up Next.
Of course. And thank you guys so much for giving me the platform. I appreciate it.
No worries. Earned and deserved, bro.
Thank you.